Medjugorje, which means between the mountains, is a village in southern Bosnia-Herzegovina, not far from the border with Croatia. This miraculous story begins on June 24, 1981, on which day 6 local young people saw Our Lady for the first time. One day later, on June 25, they were addressed by the Queen of Peace for the first time. Therefore, June 25 is generally accepted as the anniversary of the apparitions. So at that time, the seers are still children, 4 girls and 2 boys. Their lives will change for good from then on. Vicka, Mirjana, Marija, Ivanka, Ivan and Jakov. Jakov is the youngest. He was born in 1971, so he was only 10 years old when the apparitions began. Ivanka was the first girl to see Our Lady on June 24, 1981. She was walking along the foot of today's Apparition Mountain and alerted Mirjana to a silhouette-like apparition on the mountain among the trees. As with all seers in history, things were not made easy for them. They lived in communist Yugoslavia at the time. Government disbelief led to persecution, imprisonment, endless interrogations and scientific investigations during the apparitions. So since 1981 they have been testifying to regular or periodic apparitions of Our Lady. So who are these 4 women and 2 men, and why are they chosen to be mediators between heaven and people on earth? God does not choose the best to accomplish his plans. We are only instruments in his hands. The seers answer, admitting that they themselves do not know according to what criteria they were chosen for this important assignment. Father Slavko deserves a special mention in this miraculous story. At the time, he was a great inspirer of the parish and the unconditional support and refuge for the 6 children. He climbed the Mount of the Cross every day since the beginning of the apparitions. By the way, he always took a plastic bag with him to clean up the trash left behind by people. On November 24, 2000, he went up the Mount of the Cross with a group of pilgrims to pray together. Arriving at the last station, he asked to pray for all the pilgrims present in Medjugorje at that time. And he also asked to pray for the next soul to die. Then Father Slavko sat himself down and died on the spot. On the first anniversary of his death, a memorial stone was placed at the place where he gave his soul back to the Lord. Father Slavko's image is there in a bronze relief on a boulder, as a lasting remembrance of this special man. The tomb is now frequently visited by pilgrims, because in the message of November 25, 2000, the day after his death, Our Lady said, "I rejoice with you, and I want to say that your brother Slavko was born in heaven and speaks for your benefit." Another great story is that of Father Bernard de Boeuf from Belgium. In 1985 he went on a pilgrimage to Medjugorje. He was somehow called there to found a community in Flanders, completely dedicated to Our Lady. And he did it. The community Mother of Peace was built and still exists today in Gistel. In October 2022 he went back to the place where it actually all began for him. One full day he was there. On the second day he left totally unexpectedly on a final pilgrimage to heaven. He was called back, as it were. He had completed his task here on earth. Meanwhile, the small village grew to become the third largest pilgrimage site in the Western Catholic world. The praying village receives hundreds of thousands of pilgrims from all over the world every year. Even during the Balkan War in the 90s, pilgrims continued to come. Even soldiers came there then to pray and seek solace. Medjugorje is called a school of prayer of Mary, or also the confessional of the world, because nowhere else in the world is a sacrament of heavenly reconciliation received so often. But above all, it is a place of grace. Conversions take place there daily. Many miraculous and inexplicable healings were recorded by the parish. For example, there was the Belgian Pascal, who miraculously healed from a crippling disease in 2012, rising from a wheelchair on the spot. Medjugorje is therefore sometimes described as a place where there is a leak in heaven and where grace just pours down.